Sedbergh with a good start. You can really see the wind blowing at the backs of the Wellington lads as they start this one. A good turnover from the flow of Sedbergh's first attack of the game. Welcome here. We've got a little bit ahead of schedule in this second team clash between the brown of Sedbergh and the black of Wellington. It'll be a very interesting game, this one. Both teams in the school championship playing some brilliant flowing rugby, and you'd assume it would have to be followed through by the seconds. Big shots coming in there. Exciting times as we slowly eke our way into this one. We're 3 minutes in, 0-0 on the scoreline, and a couple of attacks have been thwarted by the Wellington boys. Like I'm saying, I'm assuming a lot of these lads will train interchangeably with the ones of both their representative teams. So we should see a little window into the future of what's to come this afternoon as these first teams go head-to-head in the schools championship, maybe giving away an idea of how they're going to play these games. And in that case, Wellington aren't looking to mess around with the ball and pin Sedbergh back in their own half. Ran out well, though, by some forwards working hard to get back on side, but it's turned over. And it's Wellington's first chance with the ball in hand. Playing off an edge. Brilliant tip on, changing the point of contact to follow up by hitting the ruck as well. Snapping back down the short side. Tackled well by the guards around the ruck, staying switched on early here. Wellington playing within a 15-metre radius at the moment, just going back and forth. Now it's their chance to spread it. Playing into the forwards in midfield. Got a split pitch. What will they do with it? Flowing the same way around the corner, out the back. The fullback makes a bit of ground, skips out of 1 and 2, but gets hit very well by one of the forwards following up. For Sedbergh, there's a bit of space on this outside. Second row shifts the show and go. Almost makes it himself. And Wellington are doing well to hold on to the ball. Just about of that breakdown. Into midfield, carry through the 6. Not really going very far forward. Wellington might look to get rid of the ball as Sedbergh. Oh, just unfortunately slip off a tackle. There's a concern of who's going to make the first mistake here between these two teams, as Wellington aren't really making many yards. They don't want to hold on to the ball. It's a bit of a ticking time bomb in that sense. And as long as Sedbergh don't make any errors, they're going to keep on forcing them back. They've pushed them back a good 20 metres here and have won the penalty. A bit of foreshadowing there. That's the difficulty when you mess around the middle section of the pitch, the grey area, the boneyard as it's sometimes called, because one penalty goes the wrong way and all of a sudden you find yourself back in your own half. A change of hands of possession and territory. And Sedbergh will breathe a sigh of relief. They'll be pretty chuffed with that first defensive set, I'd say. Held their shape real well. May have slipped a couple tackles, but that was the importance of backing up on the inside. At a high outside press, forced the attackers back in and swept up that danger. They've just got to make sure they stay switched on around the ruck and push high to finish those tackles once they force the attackers back in. But speaking of attackers, it's their turn. They go to the back and play brilliantly off the top into midfield. Forwards hit it up and find the gain line. See those Wellington defenders retreating to get back on side. They play it down the edge, same way. Good carry, good leg drive, palming people off on his way down to the ground. And they snap back, looking to play out the back. Good hands from the forwards, but a loose pass out to the wide channel. Any way to get the ball there. Edge breakdown. Wellington almost find a way to turn it over, putting a lot of pressure on the scrum half. Flying off that breakdown though. Ball is out. Both these teams starting this game very physically around the contact area, carrying and tackling hard. Sedbergh said that's enough of that though. And unlike Wellington, find a bit of territory, but they send it back and they do add some extras on the end of it. What a kick, what a return, what a response from the Wellington fullback, finding the space in the backfield and winning his team the 50-22. You could sense a little lack of strategy behind that kick. It did seem a little bit wayward from the Sedbergh fly half. And that's the danger of kicking down the fullback's throat, so they can just pin you back. And if you haven't arranged the backfield from the kick, or if no one else is expecting the kick, then that's the danger that you put yourself in. And now Wellington are looking to capitalize on that opportunity here. Driving very well through the middle. They have one advantage as well. They've got a free play. Almost over. Inches away now for the first score of the game. Meters short. They can taste the try line, they're so close. Sedbergh doing well just to hold on. It's all hands to the pump. A brilliant tackle from a good carry, physical stuff. And they've won the turnover. For a neck roll, I do believe. Valiant effort from the Sedbergh defenders there, putting their bodies on the line. What tackling to stop Wellington from barging their way over. And Sedbergh found sweet relief in the sideline, exiting from that penalty. And they go to the cow sheds this time. Catch and drive time. Time to give Wellington a little taste of their own medicine up front. And they win the penalty in the process. Not what the Wellington coaches would want there, doubling up on penalties and giving Sedbergh an easy out. That's the kind of opportunity where you want to turn the screw. Having such an energy providing moment as a 50-22, you really want to capitalize on those. And Sedbergh found a way to stem the flow and win back momentum in their own way. Doubling up on back-to-back penalties, they find themselves into a very strong headwind, might I add, up to the Wellington 40. They go to the back again, this time a little less clean, but the ball is away into midfield. Played at the back, bit of space on the edge here, but the pass can't quite go to hand. And Wellington are through. They've turned it over as a foot race. Who's the first of this one? The Sedbergh fly half just manages to get back in time. Was it carried over? No. Goal line dropout. Ball already in the in goal. (50-22). Wellington with an advantage here, going through the phases. Out to the fly half, pulls it up the back, bit of space, looping pass again. These connecting passes from both teams are proving a little wayward. There's a bit of space in these wider channels, but they just can't find the right pass to make the most of it. But it's the Wellington penalty. They find themselves back where they were a matter of minutes ago. We're 12 into this one, and it's still 0-0 on the scoreboard. A tight affair with Wellington having the majority of the possession, the wind heavily at their back. So winning that territory battle. Oh, and it's just knocked on. And Sedbergh have a chance to throw a little counter-attack together here. Long pass, bit of space out to the fullback, who puts the afterburners on and almost gets on the outside. Brilliant covering tackle from the 13. Looking to create their own exit here, but Wellington are causing them a nightmare at the breakdown, making a real mess of that. The scrum half just finds time to get it away, but it's not out. And a brilliant take from the Wellington fullback, giving the ball into space, and we have a bit of numbers out here. Brilliant draw and give, and the winger has some space on the outside, puts some footwork on, almost finds his way to the corner. All he had to do was reach out and put it down. He didn't realise that he was not held in the tackle, finds a lift to the scrum half, who is caught in quicksand. And now it's another penalty to Wellington. Brilliant counter-attack from the fullback, finding a bit of space, and a brilliant draw and give from the front rower, finding the winger in space, who you'd think had done all the hard work, just had to reach out and put the ball over the line. Brilliant bit of footwork to beat the final man, just didn't quite have the composure to finish it off. And that is the story of Wellington's day so far. They've been in the right places, the right positions. They've won the territory battle and the possession. They just can't find their way over. They keep knocking at the door, and Wellington can't find their way through it. Sedbergh's telling them, not today, not so far. This time the line-out goes well for Wellington, but they're hit immediately by a big drive by Sedbergh, spinning them all away from the sideline, finding their way over, is what I would say if it wasn't a penalty to Sedbergh. I thought I saw a straight arm in the air from the referee. It did have a slight angle in it, so penalty goes the way of Sedbergh. But the kick is bitten off a bit more than he can chew there, and we know how dangerous this bloke can be running it back. Getting him all the way back to the 22. Good hand on the ball there from Sedbergh, but no lift at the breakdown, the important detail that wins you the penalty or possession of the ball. Wellington play out the back, bit of shape, good cut-out pass, or just doesn't quite go to hand. And Sedbergh have a chance to turn this one. Not quite the pace to get there. Flag goes up from the assistant referee. God, frantic stuff in this first half, 15 minutes in. We've had some good attack from both teams, but they just can't quite find a way of connecting through the midfield and into those wider channels. It's just that third and fourth pass that's going a bit astray, that's giving the defence time to slide across and make their tackles once the ball gets through that wider channel. If they can just find a way of squaring up, drawing and giving, that space is there for the taking. But first you've got to win the ball, and Wellington couldn't quite manage that, so it's Sedbergh's turn to launch something of their own. Head down, good leg drive from the blindside flanker. Just went route run, no look of the pass there. Ball at the back. Sedbergh's forwards finding themselves in a lot of space in these wide channels. Looked like a turnover from Wellington, I think it was, but not managed to hold on to the ball. Referee says play on. Off the edge goes Sedbergh. Big line speed from the Wellington players. Playing into midfield, out the back. Long looping pass, but again you see not out in front of the man, so it gives Wellington the time to get across. to try and make their tackles, but try is the key word there, as this guy's flying down the edge. What a bruising carry, but he gets stripped at the last moment, and Wellington are off down the sideline. Oh, I thought he had the legs to get past the fly half covering across, but not quite. Oh, good read in defence from Sedbergh, who are really having to transition a lot here from defence to attack to defence. Oh, just a loose pass, and that's not the kind of position you want to be making a mistake on the field. Looked almost nonchalant. They looked very calm, did Wellington, going through the phases there. But perhaps just a bit too relaxed. As we now find Sedbergh with a scrum in prime position, midfield, both ways you can go. Danger time for Wellington. Let's see how they can stop this Sedbergh flow. Pretty even at the scrum, go down the shorter side. Fullback's got a chance here, a lot of space to work with. Cuts back in, beats one, gets a covering tackle from the Wellington open side flanker, but it's high. So Sedbergh given an extra 10 metres here from the tap. And they're now 5 metres out for the first time in this game. Can they be more ruthless than Wellington? The fly-off looks up, just holds onto the pass, gets tackled well, but the breakdown's resourced, so they still in possession. Great line speed from Wellington, really meeting them at the contest here in the contact area. Another two-man tackle. Brilliant teamwork from the Wellington defence. Can they hold on here? Slight drift to the outside and a late pass. What an offload! Turning defence into attack, and they're up the sideline. Who's going to win this foot race? Sedbergh just getting back, and they find themselves all the way back in their own half. Slight indecision from Sedbergh, taking the ball all the way to the line and just sort of tipping it on without real decision and decisiveness. And what an offload, by the way, from the Wellington player to find his winger in some space, who puts a good kick in up the tram lines. Does well to not put that out on the full. And it's Sedbergh now, who look slightly the more tired after having to trace back and get back on side for this one. But they play out the back, and there is space here. But they go through the middle. Brilliant offload. Has he got the pace? No, good covering tackle. Throws a loose pass to the scrum half. Good attack, but ball stripped by Wellington, and there's space back there. Can he hit another one? No way. What a nudge. Was it a 50-22? Because the ball was taken back into the Wellington half. There has to be one phase within your own half for it to count as a 50-22. Or at least it can't be taken back in. You can't catch it on one side of the 50, jog backwards and then kick it. So I do believe Mr. Sedas made the right choice here, and it's another Wellington line out inside the opposition 22. If they get to half-time scoreless, they are going to be ruining all these chances. Giving the backs a go. Carry from the number 8. Sedbergh competing hard. They throw one into every breakdown. But his shape on the snap back here, but the fullback just decides to put his head down. You can see the shapes they're trying to put together. They just don't quite have that killer pass to unlock the defence. It only takes one. Oh, defence from Sedbergh, throwing numbers at both. Ooh. The ball carrier and the tip line. Two-man tackle again, gets driven to the ground. It's a brilliant defence from both teams. The tackle completion rate is top level. Thrown to the ground. Wellington describes he has enough of that and puts a bit of pressure on the Sedbergh backfield. But they just managed to get and sweep up position. God, squeaky bum time there for Sedbergh. A nervy end to this first half. You've got to wonder whether Wellington will take the points here. Or whether they should, at least. They've had about 5 or 6 entries into the opposition 22, and they've had no points on the scoreboard. The wind appears to have died down a little, but you really want to be making the most of that on the scoreboard, so perhaps the 7-point option may be the move. They've tried this 3 times. Is it third time lucky for them? From the line out, they've gone to the catch and drive, and Sedbergh have repelled them every time of asking. They're throwing this one. They go to the front, safe option. Oh, the ball transition to the back of the maul, though, isn't the cleanest, but they're rumbling forward. That's all that matters. But it's stripped by Sedbergh. Illegally so, though. An early shove from the line-out. That's why they were repelled so quickly. What do they do here? The line-out doesn't seem... Well, the line-out's not the problem. They've only lost 1 or 2, but it's when they set them all. That's where the difficulty's coming in for them. Sedbergh just finding a way to scrap their way out of every occasion. Fourth time lucky. Is it for Wellington? Surely. The law of odds have to at some point come through for them. Ball taken at the middle. Body position a little high, but they are finding a way to make it work. You can hear the second row screaming his troops forwards as the backs come in. Can they find their way over? Can they get the ball to the ground? They can! And they are very happy about it. It's only taken them 24 minutes, but they finally found the first score of the afternoon. It's 5 points from the catch and drive. The decision to go to the corner paid off with a full 5 for the boys in black. It wasn't the cleanest. It was a little bit scrappy, but it doesn't matter how you find your way over. All that matters is you land on that first 5 points. Much needed with the wind in their faces in the second half. It's a brilliant strike, bisecting the post, and it's a full 7 for Wellington. The coaches will breathe a sigh of relief getting themselves on the scoreboard. Sedbergh with the second restart of this game, their second restart of this game, and they find themselves back in Wellington territory. This time, though, 7 points behind. Good exit here from Wellington. Set themselves up well, and a good chase. A great chase from the Wellington forwards and backs, both getting involved, making the tackle and then getting over the ball. And they really want to try and get themselves over the whitewash again in this half. That wind is going to be tough in their face as the evening rolls on. Line out on the 22. Stolen. And a free kick given as well. They're not quite finding themselves into that furthest extremity on the pitch. And when they do, they can't quite keep it in hand. And Wellington, oh, just beaten by the sideline. They're not quite stretching each other in terms of their attack. They find them by way 3/4 of the way across the field, but never to the furthest edge, which means that the defence doesn't typically have to defend it, meaning that they can put some big shots on your midfield. That's a difficulty. If they can find these connecting passes to find their way into the wider channels, and they might find a bit more luck in those edges. We've seen ourselves in this position on the field a lot so far this first half, but this time Sedbergh in possession as they're looking to exit. Still pressure on here, tough kick. Giving himself a little bit more of an angle to work with though, and a bit more space. It's a brilliant carry from the blind side. Back to the pocket to the fly half, who punches it straight down the tram lines, straight down the throat of the Wellington winger. Gets the ball away. Oh, just scrapping it out of contact. Bulldozing carry, but Sedbergh are up to the task in terms of tackle completion so far today. Oh, let the boys play. No, slightly forward. I did have a wonder about that. The assistant referee must have picked it up. But another example of how a long looping pass and then not the tightest of hands in these wider channels is reducing both teams' attack to the middle of the pitch. Unless you can stretch a defence from edge to edge, you're not going to find many spaces through the midfield, which means that the teams can just defend those spaces and not have to worry about the edges, arguably meaning that there's even more space on the edge that teams to this afternoon haven't been able to exploit. It'll be a good question for the coaches at half-time, which we're edging closer towards. Brilliant pass into space. Oh, a bit of shape again from Sedbergh. Looking dangerous, but not quite with the killer pass. They find themselves on the edge though. Oh, unfortunately comes through the side from Wellington, and Sedbergh want to really add some tempo to this one. I don't know if the Wellington lads got back on side, but it doesn't matter. There's a good pass into space. Danger, the prop, putting his head down, brushing some Wellington defenders to the sides, and Sedbergh find themselves deep into the Wellington half. Warning bells are ringing out here for the Wellington defence as they call lads to the cry. Oh, just takes his eye off the ball. Oh, it's a classic error you see at this age grade. I know that I made it an awful lot when I was growing up. You get so excited about what's outside you, you just take your eye off the ball for the split second that it counts the most. And 9 times out of 10, you know how to catch it. But on this occasion, this was the one where just a slight lapse of concentration can result in a turnover to Wellington. They're still in the lead here, 7 points up. Good option. Pump it long. Oh my goodness, what a kick. Oh, almost beats the fullback. But he runs it back brilliantly. Finds his way all the way up past the 40. Good carry. Bit of space here. What can they do with it? Oh. Wasn't the most beautiful looking kick, but it's done the job. I suppose kicking in these conditions into this wind you'll take whatever you can get. And it's not about exit. Looping pass again, the bounce pass is the option, but on this occasion the 13 decides to put his head down, gets a bit of space. Thrown over the breakdown goes the Wellington lad. Oh, brilliant read in defence there to combine with a bit of line speed. Catches Sedbergh back behind the gain line, and it is recovery mode for them. But the 13 puts them on the front foot again. Good carry over the top of the Wellington defender, but playing the scrum half early, and he's off again. Bringing some tempo to this game comes the Sedbergh scrum half. Onside, ball lifted, and almost dragged into touch. Well, quite comically by the collar. Sedbergh bounce back to the short side. Can't string more than one pass together, not challenging anything but the tackling of Wellington, which has proven to pass many tests so far today. Out the back. Flat ball across the face. Now starting to link up, throwing some good passes together, and this man has been dangerous in those wide channels. He finds himself all the way 2 to 3 meters out. Can Sedbergh cross the whitewash going into half time? They've got the penalty. Scrum half's off again, goes himself, and Wellington just hold him out. Over crash Sedbergh, to the dismay of Wellington, who've worked so hard this first half to find themselves up on the scoreboard. With the wind at their back, they'll be kicking themselves after that, as they won't have the wind at their back to kick the ball with in the second half. And Sedbergh draw themselves within 2 points with a kick to come. They finally found a way into that wide channel. They strung some good passes together, put the ball in front of the man, encouraged the outside backs, or in this case, the outside prop, onto the ball with pace. And he did the rest. Got them at least 2 or 3 meters out. And then it was time for the big fellas to crash their way over, and that they did, giving Sedbergh here a chance to level the score. He's drilled it, but unfortunately the wind has blown it off course, and that's how we end the first half. A tight affair here, both teams with their own chances, Wellington with the more, and they find themselves up 7 points to 5 in this second 15 clash at half-time. We'll catch you after the break. We are back underway after a quick half-time orange. Wellington, 7 points to 5 for good over Sedbergh. It's been a bit of a tussle this first half. Both teams defending very, very well. It's fair to say tackle completion has been incredible. But that's proven the challenge for the attacks, is to unlock those defences. We mentioned the difficulty they've had accessing the wide channels. On the one occasion that Wellington did it, they find themselves 5 points to good on the scoreboard. Wellington resorting to the catch and drive to find their 5 points. But Sedbergh have got the memo at half-time, and they find themselves out into the wide channel. Good kick up the sidelines, and not a bad outcome for their first attack of the game. The energy picked up in this second half. Might have got the hairdryer treatment. I'm sure Wellington got some sort of sense of frustration from a coach who's seen them enter their opposition 22, 6 or 7 times to only find a point on every occasion, let's say. 7 points on the scoreboard. Now it's Sedbergh's turn with the wind at their back. Interesting drill at the line out here. Oh, can't quite find the lift. Oh, good carry though, through the danger man. Car number 3 was the one who made the break to set up their first score. Can he do the same here? They've got a lot of numbers in these wide channels. Harry Wellington player just finding himself on the wrong side. Oh, fingertips to it. Hands go up from the fly half to say, no, not me. Sedbergh just hold on to the ball. Big 16 replacement here. Big carry. Met well in the contact. Wellington lad just finding himself in the wrong place there. The referee lets it play. And play they do, out to the wide channel, another bounce pass. Can't quite tie things together. And it's the turnover to Wellington. Time goes off and the referee can't quite see what's going on over there. But it's back on now, and so is the game. Safe ball to the front. Go Wellington. Peeling off. Finding a good offload, just getting the hands free, but Sedbergh player just making the tackle. This 16 for Sedbergh's come on with a mission. And that mission is monster, people. He's making some big carries and tackles so far. Wellington look to play. And Sedbergh can't quite make the tackle. And they find themselves in behind. Long pass to the outside channel. Again, doesn't go to hand. It's been the killing of Wellington in their attack. Sedbergh struggled, but they seem to have pieced things together. Wellington can't quite make it stick in those wide channels. Brilliant ball to the back. Off the top they go. Into midfield. Bit of shape. But just the head down. And a little bit predictable. Wellington almost enforced the turnover. Oh, driven back in the contact, but finds a way to fight his way through it. Loitering around this midfield. They don't want to stay here for too long, and they won't if number 16 is carrying the ball. Big impact on this game so far. And out the back they go. Just a Sedbergh's been carrying the ball with a dogged mentality. Doesn't look like the biggest 13 in the world, but he makes up with it with his mentality of just getting through the contact, and he wins. Sedbergh the penalty. Can they apply some pressure here to Wellington? All right, we've seen this picture once or twice before in the first half. Of course, the team's the other way around. Let's see how Sedbergh do. A little bit more efficient from the drill, and they peel off the front. And it's one of their danger men, the tight head prop, who carries the ball for them. Good bounce out. Brilliant handoff. Almost finds its way all the way over. And Sedbergh in a dangerous position here. Wellington's got to hold on. Oh. And hold on is what Sedbergh can't quite do to the ball, but that's gone backwards, so it is play on. And alarm bells ring here for Wellington. Ball to the danger man, the big 16, tries to get his hands free, can't quite manage it. Ball comes away, and just drifting ever so slightly. Need to get some more coherence amongst their attack here and start to pin some inside shoulders, otherwise that happens. Turnover, Wellington on the ball now. No, nothing comes from it. We just saw a prime example there, number 21 in the scrum, not to pick anyone out individually, we've seen the whole team doing it, but when you lack decisiveness in attack, you just find yourself drifting across the pitch, waiting for someone to cut an angle. When you have decisiveness, you know you go pin inside shoulders, you square up, you hold defenders. But without any sort of decisiveness ahead of the ball being in your hands, it's easy to defend. Defenders just sliding across, letting you carry the ball slowly up to them, and they make their tackles, no questions asked. So they've got to try and find a bit more decision, and the decision at scrum time is to get after them, but they can't quite turn it. Ooh, interesting kick in behind. Can Sedbergh sweep it up? No, but they eventually get back, and now a bit of space. Intelligent kick into the backfield. Does he get the bounce? Unfortunately not. The wind not helping Sedbergh on that occasion. So we'll come back for the scrum. Really interesting exit from Wellington, applying pressure to the space between the defensive line and the fullback. You'd think he wouldn't stand so deep with the wind at his back, the Sedbergh fullback, but he did, and there's plenty of space there to be exploited by a little chip kick over the top. But they just managed to get back behind the ball to their sweet relief and find themselves, well, now back in their own half because the ball's gone dead. Sedbergh turning the screw at scrum time. Almost looked like a knock on at the base from the scrum half, but ball comes away. Tight passes. Connect all the way to the outside channel. Flirting with that sideline. But just stays in. Sedbergh slingshot off the edge to apply some line speed to the Wellington attack and force the turnover. Bit scrappy. Oh, even worse. Slight knock on the floor. No. You can sense the frustrations of both teams here, who aren't quite able to execute their own game plans. Deep kick. Oh my goodness, it's still going. Oh, how's that stayed in? What an exit for Sedbergh. From back on their own try line, they've gained 50 metres. Assistant referee making sure the defence is staying honest on side. Sedbergh looking to find a way ahead on the scoreboard. Let's not forget they are still 2 points down. This is a low-scoring, tense occasion for both these teams. Coaches must be in the high heart rate zones. Bit of space in that back right corner if the fly-up has a little look up, but he wants to play. Sedbergh almost burning numbers with these forward pack. They don't seem to be really holding the Wellington defence. I think they've got to test the front door a couple times before they really try and stretch the team wide. Fly off says that's enough of that. And it's just one man in the backfield for Wellington, so he's got a tough task to pick that one up, but he gets there, runs it back and just manages to hold on to the ball, almost stripped. Ball back inside, gets us a little bit further at the gain line, go Wellington. Slow ball though, and the fly off goes, I don't want to play here anymore. But he's given the ball straight to Sedbergh. He'll just return it. But the pressure's applied. Brilliant kick chase. He's got on the end of it, he's picked it up. He's picked the pocket of Wellington and taken a full 5 points with him. Out of nowhere, Sedbergh strike back and it's 10 points to 7. They find themselves in the lead finally. After a lot of pressure in this second half, much the same as Wellington in the first, but on their occasion, they find a way over. Out of almost nothing. Got themselves into a little kick battle, but as they say, the kick is only ever as good as the chase, and well followed up by it looked like the open side wing of Sedbergh, Will Thompson. Just finds a way to sneak over. It doesn't bring the ball back with him for the conversion. Not the most helpful that as the clock is ticking. Fly off is going to be out of breath taking this one. An important kick. Clock is quickly ticking down. He just lines it up, gives it a whack and doesn't quite find what he's looking for. That is the most frustrating thing as a fly off. Personal frustration this. When the ball doesn't come back to you after a try is scored, you have to run after it, grab it and kick the conversion. It might sound like a fly half problem when the lads are probably knackered from mauling and scrummaging. But just bring the ball back, fellas. Extras go amiss because of that. So it's just a 3-point ball game now. Got about 15 minutes left on the clock. It's a rolling clock. Mr. Sedas stopped it once or twice, but ours keeps ticking. So take it with a pinch of salt as Wellington kick off with a tough task ahead of them now. Playing into this wind, they can't easily eat up the territory meters, and Sedbergh look confident here. Here are some passes they're stringing together. 13 says, that's enough of that. Puts his head down and gets tackled well. Ran into a player rather than a space. He just bounced out a little bit. Speaking of which, off to the races goes number 21, Hugo Cook. Puts a chip in and Sedbergh have made their way all the way back to the Wellington half. It's not out. A good exit. Very good kick in the end to take some pressure off Wellington. But they've just stuck it straight back on themselves. An unforced error at the breakdown. Flying off their feet. Penalty goes the way of Sedbergh. And so does the territory as they go to the corner. That's the danger of stretching the defence. We saw Sedbergh start to throw some passes together, and lo and behold, where did the space open up? Through the middle. And Hugo Cook was the one to exploit it. You have to test teams from edge to edge. If you don't, then it's going to line you up in the middle. But if you do, you can find some spaces through that middle as teams have to defend wider. Much better attack from Sedbergh, and they have the reward now of a line out in the opposition 22, and they go to the catch and drive. And Wellington are being marched back here. Some brilliant body position from the Sedbergh forwards as they are driving on. Still almost taken down by Wellington lad, but to no avail as Sedbergh still rolling. 2 meters short, ball is available. Oh, you'd think being heavily slowed down by a Wellington lad, but it's out. Ball at the back. Cook gets it away. Bit of footwork from number 14, the try scorer Thompson. Long pass. And he's over in the corner. Ollie Owen finds his way over the whitewash on the left-hand side this time. Much better from Sedbergh. They'll be happy with that one, as will the coaches. And he's going to kick his own try, I reckon. They went to the set piece. They turned the screw through a couple phases, through a couple passes, and found their way into the corner. Can they make it a full 7-pointer? Not quite from Ollie Owen. But still, now a 2-score lead for Sedbergh. The task has become a little bit more difficult now for Wellington. Kick off straight down the middle, bit of space on this left-hand side as well. Got to go inside shoulder. It puts the fend off in and just holds on to the tackle, does the Wellington second row. It's number 3 again for Sedbergh, Ben Rosenthal, who's been the danger man. Good pass into the wide channel, brilliant ball into space, inviting the winger onto it. That's Thompson carrying that ball. Out from Cook, across through the midfield, and again it's not quite to hand. The ball's gone backwards, said Mr. Sir, so let the boys play. No, never mind. Back we go. Yeah, it did look a little bit of a knock on. Ben Rosenthal, number 3 for Sedbergh, has had a very good game today. Finds himself a lot in the wide channel, which is good work rate for a big fella. I mean, he's used that size to his advantage, setting up the first score for Sedbergh in that first half. Back underway here. Wellington do have a hooker on the field now. So the scrum is completed. Oh, and the pass somehow is too. Into midfield. They do have a bit of shape, Wellington. You can see the snapback is ready. I wonder if we'll see that later this afternoon in the first 15 clash. Keep your eyes peeled for it. But on this occasion, they're just going through the phases around the corner, same way. Not the tightest of passing though, and they force Errors on themselves. Lacking a bit of coherence here. Someone's got to take the reins. Ultra flat past that. Into the wide channel. Good tip on. There's a bit of creativity. Sedbergh really answering the question when it comes to the contact area. But Wellington testing him a bit more now. Ball into space. Oh, but again, not quite to hand. And Sedbergh kicking behind. It's Cook on the chase. Has he got the legs? He dives on it. Smart, selfless play rather than hacking it forward and kicking on himself. Giving Sedbergh possession. Can they string the passes together here? Good hands. And a brilliant decision. Puts the hammer down and executes Wellington in the wide channel. The props combining. On that occasion, it was Dexter Ronsberg. And Sedbergh have finally put Wellington to the sword. It's valiant stuff from both teams, but Sedbergh to hold on like they did in that first half. They're on their own try line 6 or 7 times with that wind blowing in their face. But now the circumstances are a little bit more advantageous for them with that breeze. They have not held back in terms of putting Wellington away this afternoon. Both teams potentially showing their hand a little bit of what's to come in our second game of the afternoon, the first 15 clash. Make sure you stick around for that one. Kick off around 6 p.m. this evening. It may be windy, but there is not a drop of rain. So it's good conditions for a bit of running rugby. And I don't doubt both those teams is going to give us exactly that. Wellington restart again, and it's another kick-off straight down the middle. Penalty. Wellington with a long way back into this one, but we've seen crazier things happen in this year's school championship. It was Wellington again who lost a good 20-point lead to Millfield away from home, and they're not going to do the same here if they can't find touch. And that is a big kick running towards the sideline. Sigh of relief from the Wellington fly half, who tries again, this time does find touch, but on this occasion no penalty, so he finds himself back behind where his first kick was, and this time without the ball. Ruthless is this game, especially for kickers and fly halves. It's tough when you miss touch, especially when there's a wind in your face. It can be double whammy. You've got to take your medicine at some points and prioritize possession. Sedbergh flowing around the corner here. A few numbers. Ball at the back to Cook. Oh, the big man just puts his head down. And the Wellington lads starting to slowly drop off some tackles here. He's been dangerous. That big lad on the wing. Number 11 for Sedbergh. It's Lucas McComb. He is a player at Newcastle. And you can see why. Big, big lad. Both teams have struggled to find the ball into the wide channels today, but when they have, they've looked dangerous. 20 points up now, Sedbergh, coming back from 7 down at the end of that first half. They've really turned it on in this second. Weird restart that, but Wellington find themselves back on the ball. Goodness me. 19 for Sedbergh. Where is it? Bailey McNess throwing his body around since he's been off the bench. Really been a difference maker for the bomb squad of Sedbergh. Wellington though with a chance here to put some more points on the board. But you can just feel the energy about Sedbergh, whether it's fitness, whether it's morale. There's a bit more about them right now. But they did give away the penalty, a bit over-eager, arguably. So Wellington with a chance to put a few more points on the board. Make the scoreline a little bit more favourable. As we see the first 15 warming up in the background. Wellington with probably their 8th catch and drive opportunity of the day. Go to the front, safe option, but repelled initially by Sedbergh, and they're forcing them towards the sideline, having to break off back in the other direction. Brilliant set-piece defence from Sedbergh, but it's not over, as Wellington still have possession. Just about holding on to it. Through the middle they go. Looking back to the short side. Long pass, but only finds the ball moving backwards, as Sedbergh have now forced Wellington 10 odd metres back, but penalty to the good. Surely they add some tempo to this now. No, to the corner they go again. Oh dear. Ball's gone dead. Touching goal. Brings us back either to a scrum or a goal line dropout. Oh, sorry, 22 metre. That is a killer blow for the spirits of Wellington. That their one chance to get back on the scoreboard in this second half, and the ball's gone dead. It's tough in the wind. Oh, I hate the wind. I'd rather play in soaking rain than a blowing gale, because at least the ball will drop straight. In the wind, it just blows it all over the shot. Makes things tough for the kickers out there, so you can't blame them. Looking to the short side. Good pass across the face, but no one's running onto it. You want someone to put their hand up there and come steaming onto it, but they're not quite there for Wellington today. And they're met by some brilliant defence. It's number 16 again. Harry Purvis. Part of the Schools Championship World Festival squad. He'll be off to Abu Dhabi to compete against the best schools in the world in a couple of weeks. Oh, turnover, he's off. And he's blocked. No way, yellow card. It was cynical. I don't know if it was a scoring opportunity because of the number of Sedbergh players getting back and I suppose the specific requirements of those players getting back is speed, as they were backs. But regardless, Sedbergh will finish this one with 14 men. Another opportunity from here. Put a couple more points on the board. They go to the back. Great drill into midfield. And it's the big man again who shrugs off the Sedbergh defenders. Down the short side they go. Oh, but the ball just doesn't quite stick to hand. And Sedbergh have nothing but life about them right now, getting plenty of line speed off the defensive line, but they've got to make their tackles too. Wellington aren't going to go down here without a fight. And they find themselves inside the Sedbergh 22, but it's another brilliant tackle from Harry Purvis. Really a difference maker in this second half. Oh, not held in the tackle, scrabbles forward. 2 meters out now are Wellington. Not far to go either. Got an advantage in the back pocket too. Oh, Harry Purvis again. Good tackle, but rolled out. We're going to have to go upstairs. Of course, there is no TMO in this clash, but the referee consults his assistant. I think there was downward pressure there for all of a split second. It wasn't short, that's for sure. It doesn't have to be in control of the ball. It just has to be downward pressure, as it's a one-hand reach. And the referee agrees. Wellington with arguably, potentially the last say in this match. If it was last score wins, my money would be on them, as we only got a couple left to go here. Conversion into the wind is successful, so a more respectable scoreline this. Wellington back on the board, 2 converted scores. Sedbergh clearly a little out of practice on their restarts in the second half. That's their first one of it. Dying embers of this one. It's been a tight game. The scoreline doesn't reflect it, but for the first 50 to 60 minutes, there couldn't be much to separate the two teams. In fact, Wellington were leading for most of it, but Sedbergh, with the wind at their back now, have really turned it on. And that's all she wrote. Sedbergh taking the spoils in this second 15 clash. 27 points to 14 over Wellington. Some good rugby on display on occasions there, and a little preview into what's to come later this evening as the first 15s battle it out. We saw Wellington with some dangerous shape, especially off line out. They've got a good snap back move, which I keep your eye out for in that first 15 clash, but outplayed by the basic skills of Sedbergh in this second 15 game. Their catch pass is unbelievable at a schoolboy level. The ability to move the ball into space, to execute on your ideas. It's such a creative game at this age grade, but it's all well and good having those ideas. What's most important is executing on them, and they put the ball out in the front of the man on many occasions. We see them do it so well in the sevens circuit, but they're doing it here in the schools championship, and with it came the win for them. By 27 points to 14, they take the spoils in the second 15 clash. Thank you so much for joining us for this second 15 clash between Sedbergh and Wellington. My name is Ollie Johnson. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stick around for what's going to be an almighty clash between these same two teams over on the first 15 live stream. If you're watching this on the YouTube, then head over there now, because I'll be joining you very shortly ahead of what is going to be a massive clash as the schools championship challenge is on the line.